Hello YouTube. Sorry, no audio. Thank you. I'm actually, in all fairness, gonna give it a few minutes while people join, get notification because we're on YouTube tonight. The reason we are on YouTube tonight on a Wednesday night is because Facebook images are not working. Neither are Instagram, and WhatsApp's gone a bit funky too. So we thought we'd come here on YouTube and just be live tonight. So we'll be starting very shortly, and if you're not in my group and you're watching, welcome and hello. Jonathan, it's on YouTube. You could go get a feed and you could come and watch on Rewind, can't you? It's all right. You'll be all right.
Oh yeah, Rewind works too.
Anyway, the dog's not streaming. Oh, the dog. So everybody said, oh, that hard plastic collar. Get her one of those soft blow-up collars from Amazon. So I did. We put it on. She looked like a big lion. 4 hours it took her to take out 90% of her stitches that have only been in 3 days and have to be there for 3 weeks. So now she has to go back to the vet. Anyway, hello everyone. All those clever people that put notification on YouTube are going to get notified that I'm here tonight. So hello. So let's start with Bitcoin. A magnificent bounce yesterday in Bitcoin, like an unexpected, well over $1,000 bounce. We went from 9,600 to 10,900, so $1,300 up dollars. A very big bullish engulfing candle that's followed through. That would normally suggest that we're going to keep going. The issue with Bitcoin, and I'm going to zoom out to why we are kind of may stick here, and this is the reason. From this high to this low, we're in between the 618,382 fibs. Most likely we're on our way down to this 382 fib. And when you do that, the 50% level in the middle becomes one of those really strong pivot levels, support and resistance. That's at 11,394. So 11,394, we're going to expect to be a bit of trouble. And it's quite an important pivot level from before. We can see the spike low from when we had that really nasty first sell-off on the 22nd of December, and these highs are all around this level as well. So 11,394, this is a bit stamp prices, it varies a little bit at Coinbase, but here we are in the middle, and potentially this could be it. We could see a bit of a pullback from here just because of this, and we could do that next leg lower, down to the 382 fib and the 9,000 kind of 400 area that we've been waiting for. I, to be honest, don't know which way which. If we look at the 4-hour moving averages, we're stuck in between them. So we can say now that, we've got a pretty nice little range that we're looking for a breakout that will give us next direction in Bitcoin. For me, my biggest question when I look at Bitcoin and this correction we've had is this correction enough, and is it complete, and are we going to do another leg higher from here, or is it just the first leg in a bigger kind of ABC correction like this, and we see another leg lower? And the only way we're going to know is if we put our toe in the water, buy it, and if it doesn't go up, we get out and wait for the next low and don't worry about it. So again, 9,400 I think is probably where we go back to if we stop here. There's a couple of things you can look at that we could look at fibs from the highs and say, have we kind of bounced 50% yet? No, we haven't, and sometimes when you get these wedge patterns, what you'll get is a false breakout. So especially in Bitcoin, we need to watch out for this. What we might see is from this sideways range, a false breakout that hits this 50% level here and then rolls lower. And that's at 11,747. So we need to watch out for 11,747 and a false breakout from this range that doesn't go anywhere. Another good way to look at how far we might go is how big was the previous correction. So if we see how big this correction was and project that from here, that also takes us to that 50% level as well. And so potentially kind of 11,750 might be a bit of an issue. But I think above there, more than 50% of this drop, then we are definitely setting up ourselves a retest of the highs. And then above the highs, potentially we carry on higher. So a little bit further and we're kind of out of trouble and out of the weeds. Not quite there yet in Bitcoin. And a little bit of a slowdown after yesterday's big moves. So the next one we're going to look at tonight is Litecoin. And everybody's going to say, am I still in Litecoin? I am still in Litecoin. But it is starting to look a little bit, iffy. Here we are at underneath 50% back as well. So, yeah. I may, in Litecoin Bitcoin, cover this position and wait, because this is setting up to me, in terms of our daily moving averages, we're not, although I really like this big picture ABC equal measured move, I really like the Gartley pattern setup that we've got going on here in Litecoin. It's super valid. We might get a retest of the lows. Crypto loves to do that. In Litecoin, we did it here. This was a double bottom. If we come back here, this was a double bottom. So Bitcoin likes to double top, double bottom as well. Double top here, double top here. Before we made a low, double bottom here. And so it may be that I think I'm going to get out of Litecoin and wait and see what happens when we retest the lows here in Litecoin Bitcoin. And then, if we do that double bottom turn up, I can buy it back at the same price again, but then I'm doing it with the confidence of knowing that we've retested these lows, had a really good buy, and the buyers were still here. So I'm thinking that I might do that, or I might at least just put my stop under here and see what happens next. I'm still feeling pretty confident about this Litecoin Bitcoin, but I don't really want to ride in it and wait for this. And then, my stop's still down here. And it's unnecessary, really. We're at 105 at the moment, but my stop is under 95. So I'd be giving back more than 10%. And I don't think I want to do that. So Litecoin dollar. Annoying, isn't it, that it's come back that far? And Litecoin dollar's the same, really. A little bit better. Now, if we look at the daily, we're still looking, Litecoin dollar makes me want to stay in it. And the reason is that I said I wouldn't get out unless this 236 fib level, and I'm trying to do this. Here we go. I wouldn't get out unless we lost the daily 50 moving average or this 236 fib level that we're sitting on here at 116. And we haven't. So I find it, we had like Bitcoin yesterday, we went all the way down and then we went all the way up again, and we haven't done it. So for me, it's quite hard to close a position unless it does actually break, and I feel almost, when I look at this, compelled to stay in and ride it out, is a good lesson, because it could very easily rally from here. We are still holding support in Litecoin dollar and looking for it to go higher from here. On the 4-hour, it doesn't look that promising. It doesn't look too bad here on the hourly. It's starting to look like maybe we have a bit of a inverted head and shoulders pattern. If so, when we break the neckline up here like this, look, left shoulder head, if we can rally from here, when we break the neckline, we break the hourly 200 moving average, and that would be quite a good signal. So for now, we're sitting here on the lows. Any lower and I would get out, maybe. But that's how I see Litecoin tonight. So the next one we're going to look at is Link, this one. How tricky has Link been? And mainly because we didn't break out. Now, in Link, let's put regular candles on. So we've been using fib for our levels. We've been using fib projections from this first swing lower. And if you look how they've worked out. You can see 1272 works really well, 1.618 here works really well, 2, and this 2.618 we blasted through and it became support. That's how it should work if it's a thing. So we know our support is 29. In Link Bitcoin, our support is 29,719, and we were looking for it to hold, and it's held once. We've come ABC back. The only issue, it's a bit like Bitcoin. When you rally from this, you don't know, is this the correction complete and you're going to carry on? Or is it a bigger correction and this is just an A leg and an ABC? And we've had our question answered here in Link Bitcoin, because it's just, this is an A, a B leg, and now we've got our C leg. So down we go again. I think by the time we meet this 200 moving average, we'll be probably ready for Link to rally again, and they're going to do something like this. I do think 29,719 should hold a support, even if we have a little sneaky look underneath like we did here. It should still be support, and I'm still looking to buy against it for the next swing higher in Link Bitcoin, which is 47,470 next. So, but if you're watching this, you can see sideways range, and if we break out of this sideways range, you know that the party's over, and this is not anymore a sideways range. This is a double top. This is the double top confirmation level here, and we will drop twice this distance according to double top rules, won't we? So down here to 18,750. So it's a sideways range at the moment, but unless we break out of the bottom, and then it is a double top. Okay, that's Link Bitcoin. If you're looking at Link Dollar or Dollar Tether, Link Dollar Tether, here on the daily in this one, again, we're holding above this fib support level, looking to see if it holds, and then next swing higher in this one. I've drawn quite a lot of projections, and they've been so far. Let's see where I've got one more up here. Anyway, let's go back to the hourly and see, because just like Bitcoin, this leg of correction, I think we've just done a B leg because it's an ABC, and if we break down, we said lower, then we retest the support level at 2.8. Hasn't quite broken down, has it? In fact, it's kind of just wallowing sideways. It's just quite annoying. What would say to me it's broken down in Link Dollar would be below the 236 fib. I think if Link Bitcoin is in another swing lower, that this likely will do the same, but let's see. Let's make it really bright so we can see. Oh, we are, yeah, I think this is rolled over, And so we're going to look for 3.05, and we're wrong below 2.85 as a support in Link. So that's that one tonight. I can look at VET at the end. It's Forex Trade Africa says it is consolidating. Yeah, it is. The question is, which way is it going to break out? XTZ, wasn't XTZ amazing? We will look at XTZ at end, because XTZ is by far the best performing crypto today by Tezos, 20% in the last 24 hours, I think. That and Nuls, which is Petra, was the one that picked up Nuls, I think, yesterday. That's had a really big day as well. And MadeSafe still grinding, trying to go higher. MadeSafe is really performing too. Okay, we'll carry on. Ethereum. Well, Ethereum honestly is just like Bitcoin. Was this correction complete? I thought it might be. Are we going to rally from here? I thought we might be able to. We've got a bit messy with fibs in this one. So, it's sideways consolidating in Bitcoin. Small little dojis. These are in candlesticks, Japanese candlesticks. These last 3 days of candles have been perfect indecision candles. Spiky, we have a look either way, but we'll really open and close it within a very, very narrow range if we look at our closing price range. A close outside of this range would be an early warning, I think. But just, it may just be a timing issue. We've got the big July 4th of the holiday, And sometimes it can go a little bit funky and thin volume over a holiday. So maybe we need to just be a little bit patient. I'm still bullish, more bullish ETH. I'm still thinking that ETH outperforms Bitcoin coming up, but it's just like Litecoin. I really need to see, we haven't managed to reverse the trend yet. This is ETH Bitcoin. So we need to see if these lows hold down at 24,647. Otherwise, it's not what we think it is. We're still in a downtrend and we're going to see new lows, and this is more of a declining wedge. So 24,647 is going to be quite an interesting test for ETH Bitcoin. And if that breaks, I'm going to be pretty wrong. Well, wouldn't be the first time, but you try not to be, don't you? So for now, Ethereum pretty supported, very quiet, but hasn't really broken the trend. This one, we can also say, here's our bottoming pattern. Here's the highs that we can't seem to break. If we hide these, look, you can see there's our resistance at 300. So the round number 300 is where we keep seeing profit taking in Ethereum, and we need to get above 300 to get our shimmy on and back to 350. There was a time last year, when ETH was going everywhere in kind of $50 increments in this decline, and it seems to be doing the same kind of we seem to be back in this thing, so we need to break above 300, 350 next, and then our target for the next swing higher for ETH US dollar is 400, which is where we meet the big 236 fib retrace level from these highs. So round number 400 is where we're looking for next swing. Okay, so we're going to carry on. Hello. Thank you. Hello, new people. It's a bonus night tonight. We're going to look at ADA. Damn, ADA. Look, so didn't make any. Now, ADA, where are we going to go in this one? I'm going to clean up here on this daily chart, and I'm going to look at where we might go if we don't hold the lows, and look for fib projections from this bounce. And our first one is the 113. Okay, and then the 1272, and then obviously the 1.618. So this is the most recent big bounce, okay? And if we look at this, we can see that 686 is really our first support, and that we didn't tag it on that last low last time. So if we make a new low, a marginal new low in ADA, we could potentially find some support at 686. If we don't, it's almost like these previous lows are calling like a magnet, aren't they? And we're going to see these previous lows retested, and the next fib support is 528. Between 530 and 570 really is where the support comes in, which is pretty frustrating. So potentially 686 support. Otherwise, in ADA Bitcoin, we are going to continue to underperform Bitcoin and watch out for a retest of the lows. That doesn't mean that if Bitcoin goes up, it doesn't mean that ADA dollar is going to be necessarily going down, but let's see. This is just whilst we're going down against Bitcoin, we're really not doing very much in ADA at all, except trading in the same sideways range that we've been in since May. If we look at closing prices for ADA dollar, we've been in a really, when you look at it, narrow range, and these highs are what we haven't been able to get above. So range bound, so in terms of dollar, you're not losing a ton of money, but we're just not. If this range breaks down, watch out, of course, back to these lows, and then we could be maybe talking about a double bottom. So we go down to 0.06 if we break this support. We're not near it next, but so ADA, no real signal to do anything. And this kind of, you can get chopped to death in this kind of price range. Next one we're going to look at, so no signal for ADA. Qtum. Now Qtum was one. Qtum was the one that last night we thought, let's go daily chart. had some really good upside potential. We had this sideways range in Qtum, and we were looking for it to extend. The problem with this one is that once again we failed to make that new high, and it's kind of got this, starting to have this corrective look. So Qtum Bitcoin, by failing to make the new high, we're in a consolidation range. There is no trend. We're not going to quite reach the 200 moving average and the 50% that I thought we were going to get to. And, you know, we're just choppy sideways. Do I use the fib ring? Sometimes. Yes, not actually every day for my strategy. So whenever you fail to make a new high, you're not going up anymore, which is what happened yesterday. You are going sideways. Now you need to look lower time frame. Make sure you don't lose these lower moving averages or lower supports, because if you do, it turns a little shallow pullback into a bigger correction. I would say these lows here, this is where we reverse the trend and we revert to a going down again time frame on this time frame on the 4-hour. So 440 in Qtum. I would have your stop just underneath this 4-hour 50 moving average and wait and see. Now, that doesn't mean, again, Qtum necessarily against the dollar or tether is going down. It's not, but this again, I had high hopes that we would see a breakout in Qtum, and we're just sideways. This is quite nice against the dollar because we can clearly see our pennant, and we are in an uptrend in this one, so we can say clearly this is a bullish pennant, and we should, having got, you know, 2 touches on the upside, 2 touches on the bottom, this should be a pullback here that takes us back to the upside. Third touches of trend lines are usually false breakouts before you get a real breakout, so be a little careful, watch for that in Qtum tether, and then our target is up here, is 7.19. Now, if you don't get a false breakout and it keeps going, or it just means this was an ABC correction and you're going to fly. But yeah, looking still bullish for Qtum dollar and looking higher after this consolidation. If Bitcoin tanks, wouldn't most of the altcoins tank as well? If Bitcoin tanks, yes. And what we've seen previously is when Bitcoin falls, you know, that initial fall, all of the altcoins fall with it. But what we've also seen is then Bitcoin will kind of stabilize or slow down or trade sideways for a bit, and the alts will all bounce. So I would say if Bitcoin, instead of tanking, if Bitcoin just kind of drifts lower, goes pretty slowly, and doesn't crash, then I think that we could see money move out into the alts. You know, this whole rally, the start of the year in Bitcoin, let's go to the daily. If we call this the big wave one, the start of a new kind of bull run in Bitcoin, which I definitely think it is, then when we look at previous wave ones, for example, when we started here in September last year in 2017, on that wave one, the alts really didn't join in. And then on wave 2, we started to see some setups. And then when wave 3 started, we had really good alt seasons each time Bitcoin slowed down or went sideways. And if we see the same pattern this time, then once this pullback, and we resume the next big swing higher, the alts should all come along as well. Let's hope. Okay. I'm just going to look at a few more requests from my group. We're going to look at AGI, which is Singularity. I think this is AGI Bitcoin. Let's move this down, because we've had a little bit of a bounce off the lows in Singularity. The key question is going to be, is this a new uptrend, or is this just 1, 2, 3 and we're in a wave 4 and going to go lower? Wave 3, usually we trace like 38.2, 236 or 38.2. So we're going to mark those two levels in, or I'm going to do it here. So if we get above this 322, Then watch for resistance at 368. And if we can't get above 368 and head lower, I think that we have not finished going down in AGI against Bitcoin. And this is one, two, final legs lower are usually 5 waves. So that's what I'd be looking for in this one. If I zoom out to a weekly, let's see where we are, bigger picture, and if maybe we can get a better idea of where that might end. So yeah, I kind of like the bounce. I'd like it better if we I would like it better if we could get back above that 236 fib level, but I'd be watching it that way. If we had a little bit lower, 222 would be the next support for me in AGI Bitcoin. If I look at AGI dollar, a bit for next, here we go. Yeah, you're not really losing money in this one, but you're not really making money either, are you? Let's see if the buyers show up and we get a decent bounce off these lows this time. So far, it's a good little sign of it, but it's not quite the reversal we want yet. We could do the same thing, this high to low. Above 0.037, I think we should see more upside here. So looking good. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is Nuls. Good eye, Petra. We should have put XTZ Tezos on as well because it's had such a fantastic day. Nuls. So, in terms of our daily chart here, it's got a bit messy, but we can call this an uptrend because this was a higher high. And, when we looked at this swing, it came back 50% and we rallied. And here we looked at this and we said, you know what, this has come back 50%, 61.8, holding these daily moving averages. This is a really good place for it to rally from. And sure enough, that's what we've been seeing in Nuls against the dollar. We'll look at Nuls against Bitcoin in a minute. Now, have we gone? Where are we with this trend? Because, again, when we just looked at this in Bitcoin and said, watch out for that 50% level, because I don't know how many times I see this. From this high to this low, you see profit taking at 50% back. And you've got to get through that if you're really going to start another leg higher. So 0.9775 in Nuls Tether. That's what we've got to get above if we are going to do another leg higher from here. Not 0.9775. If I zoom out, then our target becomes 1.36 because that's the next fib level up. And then, so 1.36, I'm just going to make them a bit darker. 1.36 and then 1.67. And there you'll see that on the daily. So, and you can see that 9775 is what we've got to get back above. It's also 50% of the drop. So Nuls Tether looks good, but we're not quite over the line. Nuls Bitcoin. Okay. We were looking at this one last night. Can't believe my chart didn't save it, but never mind. Okay. Yeah, it still looks, the momentum's going our way. We got knocked back at the 20, but we've come right back to that moving average again. So we should be, I think we've got every shot here. We've got a bullish cross of our 4-hour moving averages. That should send us at least back to this prior high here and the 200 moving average. And that's where we reverse the trend in Nuls. But this, yeah, looks really good, the bullish cross. So there we go. I like Nuls a lot. Hello, Usman. Why is pairing so important? Because we mostly trade against Bitcoin, don't we? So sometimes, if Bitcoin is in a decline, you can look like you're making money, it's going up because you're making more Bitcoin. But in fact, in fiat terms, you're losing money. Some people don't care about that because their entire goal is to make more Bitcoin and then it goes up again. But some people would prefer not to, or it's stressed. So, that's the only reason why. Okay. We can chat about BAT again. Yeah, we'll do it. We're doing it in a minute. We're going to do BNB, which James calls the Amazon of the Amazon of crypto. We're going to do BNB and then we're going to do BAT again. Now, BNB on this daily. This is Binance US dollar. We got stuck at the 1.618 projection from this high to this low. So you put your fib retrace on 236, 382, 50, and you extend beyond. Look, I custom do mine. So 1.618, that's where we got stuck here. Fibs, they kind of, so now instead of going up in Binance Coin, we're going sideways. If we break the lows though, then we've reversed the trend. So this is our sideways range we're in. Eventually this will probably build up and everyone will say, oh, head and shoulders. I hope not. In fact, I hope it fails, because this is a pretty strong uptrend. So at the moment, if we've been buying the dips and looking to see if we can break out, it hasn't quite done it yet. I'm going to say, if I look at Binance Coin against the dollar, that this is a kind of a declining wedge. I'd probably put my alarm somewhere like that, and then that should trigger me in somewhere above 34.5 would get us above these bunched up moving averages and get us out of this and in a swing higher. So that's where I'd be looking for in Binance Coin dollar. And then my target is the 2.618 next. And that comes in at 62.45. And then in Binance Bitcoin, you can see what I was drawing here, because I do from this high to the low, and I put this fib level on, and I said, if we get above it, we shouldn't really come back below it again if we're going to keep going higher. That's kind of the rule. The problem is, we didn't hold it when we retested it, and it looks like we've made an ABC move and 3 waves. And so when you see 3 waves, what we're looking for here is a new bullish swing higher, aren't we? So we really want to see 5 waves. So when you see 2 equal measured moves like this, it's always a warning that this is corrective and this is not a new upswing. So now we have to wait for a full retest of the lows and see what happens. And we may go lower from here. So I would say if you bought some BNB anticipating it, or you've diversified a bit out of Bitcoin, I would have a very tight stop on it under this 25,700 level. Keep a very tight stop, because I think it could break down here. And this is what we're fighting with here, is this 200 moving average. So we really need to get above that to get going. So if we look at this 5-day range, I think if we look at it in Bitcoin terms, if we can see a daily close above 32,000, we can pile back in again. But at the moment, the risk looks to me like we go lower in BNB. Now, basic attention token. Here's another one. Really, we were looking for this to start again. Is this a new upswing? We got very close to these previous really important lows in basic attention token. So the problem is that we haven't done enough to know either way. We've had a really nice strong rally off the lows. So the only way that we're going to know if this is a new uptrend now or not is if we make a higher low here and turn up again, or we make a double bottom and kind of confirm this bottom or something like that. And so I think it looks good. I think we're starting, when I talk about rolling the moving averages up, this 4 hour is starting to move the road. We've got a bullish cross. You come back and you look for support. So this would be where I would be looking for it to roll higher. If we look how we did that before here on the hourly, If we're going to do it, this is the level where we're going to do it from here in basic attention token Bitcoin. So we just need that little bit more attention. If I was trading this short term, for me, that confirmation that we're going up would be above that 236 fib level here, a little bit higher, 280, 281, something like that I'd be looking for, and then we'd be in our new swing up again in basic attention token. So that's back Bitcoin. Back dollar's a whole different chart, you know, but here we go. Here's our daily chart. You can see, look at this lovely declining wedge that we're waiting to break to the upside in baht dollar. So it's been quite a long time coming, this one. Held the 200 moving average, just haven't broken out yet. It's not perfect, is it? It's not a perfect declining wedge, but there we go. Anyway, I am waiting for a breakout in this one. I put regular candles on, and you can see that this is where really what we've been doing is nothing. There's no trend here at all, and it just we've got to until we break out. If you try and buy it in here, like look here on the, you know, you're going to get chopped up to death. Look at these moving averages. They're dead flat. That means no trend. No trend. So, and the problem, and when you have no trend, okay, so you think, oh, it's breaking out, and you buy it, and it's always then the high, and it comes back, and then low, and blah, blah, blah. So it's very tricky. We'll leave basic attention. This is a bullish pattern. This is a pole and a flag. But until it breaks out, we haven't got anything we can do with this one, really. So we have to wait. Lastly, WTC. Now, this was another one. Super bullish reversal in this one. And when we looked at this one last night, we said, you know, the most likely thing you see after a big up move, the most likely thing you normally see in a candles in a market is a little inside day where the market consolidates and says a few, you know, and takes a bit of a breather after a big move. And what you really want to see is you want to see a little one that doesn't close more than 50% down on the previous day's open close. And when that happens, that's not a bearish reversal inside bar. It's a bullish one. We're consolidating in the top half of our gains and hopefully getting ready to continue higher. And as long as you stay above that, we look all good here in Walton. So far, so good. Now we can say, look, this pullback here on the hourly is choppy, overlapping, and consolidating our gains before hopefully off we go higher again. So, you know, that's all I'm waiting for in this one. And I think we should soon. So, you know, we could draw it like this, wait for the next swing. We could wait for our Heikin-Ashi to go green again. Everything for me looks like we're getting ready. And we should then continue higher in Walton. And let's see if we can get above that daily 20 moving average. Jonathan says, Litecoin just took a sudden drop. Is it foreshadowing? Is it? Okay. I can't see much of it at the moment. So we'll... Okay. So that's where we are with WTC, bullish consolidation. So let's look at some of the ones that you would like to have a look at. Ripple. Let's look at Tezos first of all, because XTZ and where we are with that one. Because we're in a monster uptrend. Now, put our daily candles on. So a lot of the things that would normally be resistance, we've taken out. We've taken out this spike low here. We've taken out these previous lows. That's where we stopped yesterday. So we're at today's resistance, which is the daily 20 moving average. Now we've seen in other coins that can cause a bit of a setback, a bigger setback than people expect before we go higher. So this is our level here. if we can close the daily, which is in, you know, 4 hours from now, if we can close above that, at above 11,000, then we're laughing. We're all good. Okay? If we can't, then look for 50% pullback of this candle. And if we go more than that, then we're going to do one of those, you know, retest of the lows or let's see kind of thing. Now, no, we didn't even reach it that way. So either one. Okay. So just a pullback at the moment on our hourly potentially. Now, for me, if I've been trading it on the hourly, if I get a red candle and it breaks the low of the red candle, I'm out on the Heikin-Ashi. If I've been trading it on a 4 hourly, I do it the same way. Another way I look at it is if I pull my fibs from this high to low, as long as we stay above the 236 fib level, which here is 10,705, I'm going to say we're still in fib terms in an uptrend. And I would normally say if we break below that, I would get out. So XTZ, I'm super bullish. I like it. We should go to 12,500, but I am expecting a pullback here first before we go higher. So buy the pullback. Does anyone know much about the potential FCA ban coming next year in the UK? That's really disappointing, you know, because they did it to FX. They used to be able to get 500 to 1 leverage in FX. In fact, some brokers you still can overseas. I think it's going to make it more... They're very hard bans to enforce, to be honest, and it's only in the UK. I think what it'll mean is most people won't be using a UK broker. You were wondering if places like Coinbase would now not allow UK customers. Okay, they're only banning leverage. They're not banning crypto. So Coinbase shouldn't ban UK customers. No, you know, my Discord channel was for people in the group to talk amongst themselves so that the Facebook page didn't get too noisy. I tend not to be on Discord, but... So no, I don't think it'll affect Bitcoin that much. Most people... and once you've been doing it a while, you know, you can self-certify as a professional trader and you can increase your leverage limits that way. Geo says, optical alert YouTuber says there's a possibility of Bitcoin dump in a few hours. Time will tell. Listen, we're in a pullback in Bitcoin. Okay, we've had a sharp start. This is resistance. You know, it wouldn't be too much of a shock if we see another swing lower. Now, Ripple. Lots of rumors for Ripple, and rumors unfortunately didn't get Ripple out of this sideways range. And it's, excuse my yawning. So we are stuck in this sideways range in Ripple dollar terms, and we're testing the lower limits of it. What I'm less enamored of, and I don't like here, is although these moving averages are flat, we're underneath them. So they're now resistance. And so I really wouldn't be tempted to buy Ripple unless I got back above them. So Ripple US dollar, I want it to see it above 0.423. And if this trend line support here breaks down, so below 383, I would say time to get out, because we're probably going back to the bottom of the range. At least the 200 moving average, but potentially lower. I had hoped that this was kind of just, you know, a consolidation, a bull flag, and then we find support here and rally. So it's not broken until it actually breaks, and it hasn't broken yet, but I would watch it carefully. Sometimes they become horizontal supports, and if we did that here, I could see that you know, this 200 moving average rallies up here. We drop down to this horizontal support, and that would be a good spot to look for a long, about 0.359, and a retest of these lows. That might be a better entry for Ripple dollar. Ripple Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Ripple Bitcoin. So nothing to make me want to buy Ripple dollar quite yet. Holding its own, but just not. I want to buy things that are moving and going up. So, you know. Ripple Bitcoin, still underperforming Bitcoin. And not only that, but yes, but the last 2 days, these previous lows that we can draw here, around 4,040, they've become resistance. And that's a bit of a problem, because whilst we stay underneath them, we're still going to look lower. We're going to look for fib projections lower, if not the lows in Ripple. So this is Ripple Bitcoin. So it doesn't mean, you know, obviously we're not going down, but we are underperforming Ripple Bitcoin quite badly. So let's put and see if we've got an 886 fib, because sometimes they're great support. So, and we can, Ripple had a good try at this 786. So we're going to mark the 886 fib down here, which is 2620, as where we're looking for as a target. And I'm going to see if we can project like, that's like the 1272 or 113, something like that. Here we go. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Hold on. Yeah, all of the support's kind of a little bit lower. So I'm going to say maybe 3186, but I'm going to put more faith in this bigger. I was always taught if they didn't agree, if there was conflict, to use the bigger retrace levels. So I'm going to say probably 2620 is where Ripple Bitcoin I would be stepping up and looking for a really good bullish reversal. Because look, this is the big rally that we had off the last fib level. So this one should be a good one too. Okay. TNT, Tyrian, can't remember. Tyrian, yes. TNT. I've got it right here. I was looking at TNT earlier. Okay, so here's our daily TNT. Here's our zone, regular candles. I really thought we got a breakout, perfect double bottom setup, really, because, you know, this was our double bottom. This was our pivot level in the middle. We're having a bit of a nasty shakeout, aren't we? After trying to break out or theoretically breaking above it. And I'm going to say, you know, this is a bearish. Unfortunately, this is a bearish inside bar, because it's more than 50% down on that gain. And so if the lows break, we're going to see a big drop. So now these lows become really important. That's where you're dead wrong to be bullish, Tyrian. Okay. God, there's yesterday's low here. So we need to really get back above this level and no lower. See this bearish cross of our hourly moving averages? If that breaks down, you know where we're going. We're going down here, back to these lows. So it becomes very important. Move your stop up. And this may be a failed breakout in TNT. And failed breakouts are quite powerful reversal signals. So disappointing. Now, we could rally from here. You know, it may be, we've seen this movie before, where we rally all the way up and this is just a tail and we close back above this resistance level. That would be great. And then we can look for our target. If we can, so if this, today's red candle closes at 680 or above, we can still look higher from here to our target at 1,064. So that's what we want to see us above, We've got a few hours to do it. Don't know if we can do it or not though. Wait and see. CMT, sure. I can't find that. Let's take a look at CMT. Oh, CyberMiles. Haven't looked at that one for. Oh, look at this. Perking up. Now, here's a clever chart. Look. I'll put regular candles on. But this is the 200 moving average. Look at what important support and resistance this 200 moving average is. Here we failed at it. Here we failed at it. Here we failed at it. Here's the highs. If we get above this 200 moving average, we've completely reversed the pattern. And this 200 moving average will be support as we rally, and we will have changed the trend. So that's what we want to see. We're really close. So today's high, any more than today's high, I'm just going to chuck a fib on as well, because that's my target, and it'll be my target. Okay. $14.79 on the upside would be our first fib, which is amazing. So, CyberMiles needs to break today's high. That's the 200 moving average, and if it does, we can buy against it because we're going much higher to 14.79. If we don't, and we get a reversal here, I don't think we will, but we might, just underneath it the first time, you might see a bit of a pullback to these moving averages first before we have another go, but that's going to be your trigger. Looking good. Underneath it and buying it, I don't mind you buying it underneath the 200 moving average. Just make sure you know it's there and that you might fail there, that's all. But yeah, CyberMiles, that would be cool if we can do that 200 moving average thing. Matic, ONT, oh sorry, VAT. Yeah, let's do some more. Look, VAT. VeChain. I'm going to say a no on this one. Look, couldn't get above the previous lows, couldn't get off. I think we're setting up a retest of the lows in VAT, Bitcoin, before we can see if we made a bit of a base. And we've done it before in this one. Look, when we had a proper base here, double bottom, and it does kind of, even when it doesn't, it does pretty deep retests. So that's what we're setting up in VeChain, and time to be patient. If you look at this on a lower time frame, it's just, yeah, not quite ready yet. Let's look at VAT dollar, because it doesn't need to be all bad, but it isn't really, is it? See, all of these, these altcoins, when you look at them against the dollar, none of them look terrible. They've just been, stuff has just been beaten up by Bitcoin, not by other stuff, so it's okay. So VeChain, no, not yet. Let's wait for a retest of the lows. Matic. No, Matic. How weird. Where's Matic gone? Here's another one. Same problem. Bearish daily moving averages failed at this first. We drew the fib from this high to this low. Look, I'll put the line on so you can see. From this high to this low, and we failed at the first 236 fib. That's always the trend resistance. When you do that, then you say to yourself, right, don't let it come back more than the 236 fib, because if it doesn't, then we'll have another go. This was here, and we have. So This is another one, still corrective. This was an ABC rally, but we're looking for a retest of the lows before we can get excited about buying this one. So I'm going to say no to Matic. And if you're looking at this consolidation here, be careful that this, you could put maybe your stop against it if you think it's going to rally, but if it breaks lower, I would get out. So you're not going to lose a ton of money, I don't think, Matic US dollar, but it's just not, you're just better off in Bitcoin. Yeah, look. Just keeps failing it. Now, when I look at Matic dollar, we could argue that, yeah, we're holding the support, but we are, but if it breaks, watch out below. So no buy in Matic yet. Consolidating sideways against the dollar and being beaten up by Bitcoin. Raven. I did think for a minute that Raven had a bit of a shot, and then it just didn't happen. Let me find Raven. Oops, not that one. What this is, honestly, this Phoenix, red pulse Phoenix looks like one way to hell, doesn't it? Okay, so Raven. Now, this is, in Raven, this is this lovely 886 fib level. What I'm interested in watching in Ravencoin is if we can hold support here and bounce, because we had a lovely rally off the 786 fib. So move this down here because this is the level now to see if we can get off. Not only that, but in my fib rules, if you rally from an 886 fib, your target should be the 50%, which would be 995, and a really nice swing trade here, therefore, for Raven. So we need to get off these lows now. Our confirmation level, so the meat of the trade, is back above this 786 fib. So we're going to watch to rally if we can get to 578, and if we get above to 578, our target's 995. That's the trade. So far, so good. Look at this reaction today. High, low, so far, so good. But these pies, so yeah, I think by all means, buy a little. See if we can break the top of this range. If we don't, maybe sell some. But if we do, watch out for that 578. And if we get above 578, bargain. We're on our way. Okay. Very good. Starting to have a good look, but not, outside of this hourly sideways range will be your nice long entry in Ravencoin. Tentatively looking for 578 to break. And then if it does, of course, 995 target. Okay, ONT. I'm going to finish on ONT and Fantom. Okay, ONT. Don't know if I have the chart here. No, but that's okay. It's honestly incredible to me how still so few coins are outperforming Bitcoin, like so few. Now Ontology. It's Ontology Bitcoin. We broke the lows in this one, and when I projected support and resistance, I was like, okay, I use these first swing lower down here, line it up here, as potential support and resistance levels. We had this double bottom level here, that at 1356. That's now become resistance for Ontology. Today we made a new low. I'm afraid I think we're heading to 1080. That's where we're at 113 fib extension of this swing and this previous low. And if 1080 doesn't hold, look for 779. So Ontology, I'm not feeling it. And it is a new low today, I think. Let's see, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought it was a new low. Yeah, it's a new low. Let me see. Let me just... Yeah. Now, so I am looking lower for Ontology Bitcoin. I'm wrong, though. See this resistance in this previous level? That's, you know, support becomes resistance. Well, clearly, if we get above it, we're going up. So if we get back above 1356, I'm wrong. So, and if you love it, Ontology, you know, mark that level, put an alarm. Because then we'll see a really cool bounce and much, much higher. So when I say much higher, I always mean back to the 200 moving average first. So that would be back to these highs here and the 200 moving average, which in Ontology is around 2000. Okay. Path says this last Bitcoin bounce a couple of hours ago looks like made me worry. It isn't a double top, but a bullish pennant. Oh, it could be, you know, it could be, couldn't it? Because we're in an uptrend, but it's an equal triangle, to be honest. I don't think it's anything. Has no bullish or bearish for me. Not for me, really. Have I got Fantom here? 1 second, I'll just get your Fantom chart. Fantom. Ba-da-da. So when we looked at it yesterday, we were held at this 618 resistance. Now, this is a really good lesson. So you know when you draw them, we just looked at this at the 886 fib, didn't we? We said, look, if you reverse at 886, the previous fib is your resistance. And if you get above it, you've got your reversal. Here in Fantom, we had a really nice pullback to the 786 fib. So the previous fib level was this 61.8. You can see for 1, 2, 3, 4 days it was resistance, and today we've smashed through it. Absolutely smashed through it. That's really good news, because when you reverse at a 786 fib, your target is the minimum, the 382, sometimes beyond that to the 236 fib. So we can confidently buy pullbacks in Fantom because we know we've got much further to run, and our target is 33,900. So, and we know that our support is here at 24,400. So happy days. I think this one looks fab. Well done. Now, even listen, you could buy it. Look, if this breaks higher here, this little pullback looks cute, doesn't it? So you can do this here, and you stops under this low. You're wrong. This 220 moving average is your best friend. Look, when you're trending, you ride it. See how we do this here? It shouldn't, so you shouldn't go back below it, and up we go to our target. Good luck in Fantom. Could I chart DDD? Did I do it? I can't remember. I'm losing my mind because I'm so old. Here we go. 19. DDD. DigixDAO, but here we go, DigixDAO. God, looks like hell. Sorry, that's awful for people who are in it, but And, you know, this previous low here, look, this is double bottom. See how let's take all of these fibs away. We had this spike low here. And it got retested and it was a double bottom. That's going to be major resistance that we need to get back above. For now, though, all of these moving averages are trending lower. You know, we've said 20 moving average on the daily. This is the market's best friend. Each time we rally back to it, we carry on lower. We're still doing it. Okay, and until we break that pattern, we're still headed lower. Now, if we look at the 4-hour, very often when you see wedges or triangle patterns, they form at like fourth wave positions and they can be like the last leg in a trend. And at the moment, I would say this isn't really a downtrend. What we've done is we've stopped going down and we're going sideways. We've bunched up our moving averages in a sideways range, but because we're in a strong downtrend, the path of least resistance is lower. So let's see in DigixDAO. Remember, don't get too upset. This is just against Bitcoin. Doesn't mean that DigixDAO is like hell against the dollar. It just means that potentially Bitcoin is having its lunch, eating DigixDAO's lunch. So yeah, it's going to be way too far, I don't think. But no, it's a negative. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to look at this correction here. Okay, we're going to go back. Daily. Okay, so I have put my fib tool on from this low here to this high. And I'm going to put my fib swings on. 1272, 113, 1272, 1.618. Okay, so we bounce from the 1272. This 1.113 level is resistance. So if we get above 113 close, above 113, which is at 2493, we have stopped the downtrend. So a close above 2493, we go up. And if we lose 1852, which is, yikes, this 1272, our next support is at 291. 2,200, like, don't hold it. If you've got some DigixDAO Bitcoin and we drop and close underneath 1852, time to get out. Let's see what the dollar's telling us. So the equivalent here in DigixDAO dollar is this daily 200 moving average. If we see how many times like we keep dipping in its support. If we lose it, if we lose the support, you know, we will come all the way back and retest the lows. So don't hang on. I'm going to say it's where let's try it with fibs. Trying to find the. This is 61.8. Looks like the closest, yeah. Okay. Anyway, below this daily 200 moving average, and that would also be a sell signal in DGD. Could bounce from here. Let's hope it does. Amen. I don't know if I've got a KCS chart. Let's have a look. Do we mean Kukoin Shares? Kukoin, yeah, let's see here. It's on here. Don't think we have it on TradingView, do we? Okay. KCS, Tether. Oh, Kukoin Shares, okay. Yeah, that's Kukoin Shares dollar. Here's a daily chart. Yeah. Now, this wasn't a new high, so we're not going to say... we're looking for a new uptrend to begin, okay? And so we need 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did you turn the oven off?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We need 5 waves. So we need to rally from here, make a new high, and go above this high for us to be in a new upswing in Kukoin Shares. Let's go to the weekly and put some big swing fibs on for a big swing target. Ooh, blimey. It was a big swing, wasn't it? Well, in good news, our first target would be 5.3. Now, that would be crazy. So we're going to take this lower swing for our first target range, I think. And I'm going to draw them properly. That would be better too. So there we go. Great. Here's a very clever fib rule. And the fib rule says that if you stop, if your first swing stops at the 38.2 or the 50%, and then you do a pullback like this, you're looking for a minimum of 1.618 of this pullback. So I'm looking for a minimum, and so I'm not going to draw the 1272. I'm going to draw just the 1.618 because that's my minimum target up here at 3.2135 in Kucoin here. So new highs above 2.17 means 3.21 is nailed on, basically. And so, I'm not sure whether that lines up with much, but anyway, it's nailed on, the 61.8. So that's good news. So now when we look at our daily, and you know, we had a bit of a level here, and we looks like we've pulled back and found some support from it. For me, I use the CCI as a timing thing. So this, in terms of timing, says we're probably not ready. We're right at the center line. I'd like to see it turn and come back. And then as it goes through the center line, that's the buy trigger for me. So what this may mean is we need to do a bit of sideways bouncing here before we're ready to go again. But I like the look. I really do like this level. If we hold 1.47, I'm looking for 3.2 next. So I think 1.7 is also kind of one of the 1.47, sorry, is one of those levels you can buy against as well. Okay. Okay. So that's it. I'm happy to report that my ducks had I hatched some eggs from my ducks. I put them in the incubator, hatched out 7 lovely ducklings, and they've gone to their lovely new home with Alex Lumpkin. I know they're gonna love it with you. Okay, so bye everyone. Anyway, tomorrow's a big holiday in the US, so we'll probably, in my group, normally we do crypto twice a day. We're not going to do it in the morning, guys, and especially with Facebook still working. So we've had a good look tonight. Hopefully, if the Facebook picture function is working, we'll be back on Facebook tomorrow night. If not, some of you might get lucky and we'll be back here on YouTube. So have a great night anyway. If you're in America or you're watching in America, have a really great July 4th holiday and a really fun, you know. So, yeah. Have a great holiday. And may all your profits be green ones and not red ones. Good night.